used to.
Oh, yeah, we get this.
Starting getting a little so they're Good morning. All you late homework doers. When did you get your homework assignment?
When we got here.
What I'm going to talk to you about today is networking. Everyone here has a job, right? No. Okay. How many of you work corporate, company? Okay. Self-employed? Okay. Miscellaneous? Okay. All of you network every single day, right? Because networking is going to make you more successful at what you do, right? At work, possibly, it's going to affect your income, right? You need to get clients. You need to, how do you do that? You do it through the process of networking, all right? We hear about it all the time. You need to network. You need to network. Right? It's the best way to get ahead. But what does that really, what does it mean, or what does it look like when it comes to officiating? Okay? I'm going to tell you one thing it's not. It's not ass kissing. Okay? And you see that. Okay? Wanda speaks truth from the pulpit. We see it. Okay? And networking isn't necessarily an innate, God-given gift that we have, okay? But it can be acquired and it can be honed, all right? That's something that everyone can do, all right? Everyone can't play, be a concert pianist, but everyone can become a good networker, or can network. Okay, if you know what? If you network, you're a good networker. Okay, and networking, it's really crucial to your success as an official. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. This morning, I was downstairs and I got some cereal, and I was sitting at a table by myself. I was just sitting there to see I wonder if anyone's going to come up and take advantage of this golden opportunity to sit down and have breakfast with Wanda. I ate my breakfast. Nobody came up to me. I'm like, dang. An opportunity, okay? In the beginning, the first day we said, make sure that you pick our brains, you bug the crap out of us, get everything, that's why we're here. And yet I sat and ate breakfast by myself.
How many people saw you?
Oh, there were probably about 10 people. It's Newman. You chose to sit by yourself, up against the wall, facing the wall. Okay? And I want to thank you for letting me use you as an example, okay? Because that's how everyone's going to learn, okay? It's nothing, all right? You had an opportunity. Because I haven't really talked to you this week, have I? Okay. Did you see me?
I did briefly, yes.
So let me ask you, okay, and I'm putting her on the spot. But you know what? When you don't BS and when you're honest and someone asks you a question, why did you call it? Well, I didn't. No, just because I didn't know how to do it. Okay, just say it. Okay. So now I forgot what I was going to.
I was going to ask why she didn't come.
Right.
Come up.
Why did you saw me? Why didn't you come? Say hello. Ask me how breakfast was. Everyone always asks, did you get enough sleep last night? Well, when I sleep, it's the first thing in the morning. Like, why? Why did you?
Probably intimidation.
Intimidation,
Afraid to bug you.
okay?
You don't want to bother
Okay, that, you know what? Ding, 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 prize, intimidation. Okay,
I'm gonna,
name please, so that,
Jim,
Jim,
I'm gonna suggest that in the morning, about an hour, I do coffee and whatever, so I'm respectful of others in case they do the same thing.
be so nice. And I understand.
For me, sometimes, Jacob, sometimes it's, I don't know what to say, it's awkward. Sitting at a table with somebody that I don't really know and know. That, getting to know people's hard. It's hard to work through those initial, so it's kind of, I don't really like to do it, so to go outside of the comfort zone requires me to make a conscious decision. Naturally, I'm gonna face a wall.
Right.
You should have joined me, Jim.
For me, really, I'm pretty courageous. I would come up and say hi, but I feel that sometimes we get conflicting information. We get told to leave you guys alone, and that if you have stuff for us, you'll come to us, or you'll come talk to us. We're not really.
But we didn't
supposed to
give
go.
that information at the beginning, did we? No. So now, that's another topic I talk about, is listening.
So off the court, it's okay even off the court.
You know what, there's a saying, I've learned a lot of, and honed a lot of my officiating skills in cars and bars. Okay? All great answers, and you know what, there's a parallel. Do you ever feel those things when you're on the court officiating? Okay, so now, you have an opportunity to work on your body of work off the floor by putting yourself out there. Because this craft, there's so many parallels from what you do daily that you bring onto the court, and that's what makes for strong officials, confident officials, okay? So we're going to talk a little bit about what it looks like. I have some notes just to plant some seeds. But it's very, very important. And places that you could network, you know, networking takes a lot of different shapes and forms, but summer camps, socials, going to games, and some less formal stuff, you know, meeting officials for coffee, or a drink, or a meal after a game. We've done that, right? Okay? So let me give you some myths about networking. And why we do it. Why are we talking about this? Everybody here wants to get a job, right? It's just another tool, all right? Myth number one, that networking is simply getting a job because you know someone. Networking is forming a relationship with someone who may give you an opportunity to meet someone who can get you a job. There's a difference. Just because we're going to go have coffee, I'm not going to say, you know what, I talked to him, I really like him, I think you should hire him. But the more you get to know people, and you heard it from the assigners, they depend on our opinion, okay? This is like a whole new side of this, isn't it? They depend on our opinion. So I can maybe make a recommendation based on a few conversations or encounters and watching you work and saying, you know what, I think you should take a look at this person. Okay? I think, you know, and we go back to our supervisors. Well, it's always asking us, is there anyone that you know, who you're traveling with that you think we should put on our radar? And now, understand it's just getting the opportunity, we're not going to get your job. with that opportunity comes all the work that you have to do. I'm not gonna go recommend someone who I don't think is ready for that particular level. Let's understand that, okay? But it's that getting the opportunity. That's what networking can get you, okay? So it's not that I'm gonna network and so I can get a job. No, it's letting people get to know you so that perhaps when the opportunity arises, that person can help you, okay? Myth number 2, that you need to know some big heavy hitter, referee, blah, 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 you know. Eventually you want to get the opportunity for a look, you want to get the opportunity to send a coordinator your resume. It doesn't have to, it could be anyone, you never know who it might be. But you won't know until you start having conversations with people. Last night it was midnight, and I said goodnight like 4 times and just didn't want to leave everybody, so it just kept coming back, right? So then I get on the elevator, and there's a guy that has a Whittier College shirt on. So obviously, I guess this guy was the coach at Whittier College, right? So I go, he goes, how are the referees doing? And we're in the elevator. I said, you know what, they're doing pretty good. Work in progress, but they're doing pretty good. And I go, you coach at Whittier? He goes, yeah, I just got the job. I said, oh, my name's Wanda Szeremeta. And he goes, my name's Doug. I know who you are. I never met the man before in my life. He goes, I'm good friends with Marsha Foster and Denise Curry and blah, blah, blah from Fullerton and blah, 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 blah. And we connected the dots, and there's your 6 degrees of separation. And I initiated a conversation. I said, how you doing? He goes, I'm doing good. How are the referees doing? Think about how many times you get in an elevator, and you just... Opportunity. It's not asking, but I already know about the guy. I had, a minute in an elevator. And then actually, he was on floor 2, and it went all the way up to 3 because we were talking, and then still talking as I'm walking out, and he goes, well, have a good seat. I said, good luck to you. Because I said, I used to referee over here. And that's when he said, I know who you are. You never know. You never know. I may want to coach when I'm done. I may want to coach. Hey, yo, remember me? We met in an elevator. Need an assistant? That's how it works. It's conversation. Put yourself out there. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Okay? Myth number 3, I don't know enough people to network. I didn't know this guy. Now I do. I forgot his last name. I'm really bad. And that's where the 6 degrees of separation come in. You would be amazed. Anybody ever seen that movie? I didn't. You just don't know. And that's how, throughout my career, 40 years in basketball, I have created friendships all over the country inefficiently. So that now, if I want to get something else or get somewhere, I'm like, you know what, I can call everyone and ask if I could use them as a reference. After a conversation with someone on staff here, you go home, and all of a sudden you have this play. And you go, oh, we talked about that play at referee school. And I need to rehash that play again. I'm going to call Bart Baldwin because he's the one that talked about it. But if you haven't networked and gotten to know Bart Baldwin, you're not going to make the phone call. And you're not going to get better. Okay? So those are like the myths that I don't know enough people, blah, 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 blah. Those 3 that I gave you. What I want to do now, Penny, if we could go into the assignment, we're going to talk about that. we're gonna talk about feelings and stuff, because like you guys said, you know, intimidated, scared, you know, I mean, some of us can, you know, I can understand that, What would you do if President Obama walked in the room? I'll tell you what, I'm going to shake that man's hand, okay? Because I know he's a hooper. But you know what I mean? You have to not be afraid. Because if you're like that off the court, you can be like that on the court, and you can't be afraid as a referee. Blow the whistle, who cares? If it's right, that's great, and if it's wrong, you just went from here to here because you're gonna learn. Okay?
Now, the inspiration for this topic in the classroom came from another camp. I got an email from a camper, and he said to me, wow, you know, it was really great. I got to, you know, sit and have a conversation with you. And I'd been around you before, but I was always afraid to come and talk to you. But I thought other people were, kind of kissing ass, and they said you were nice, but I just assumed that they were, you know, sucking up, and that's why they said that. But you were very genuine, and I was intimidated by you, and I'm so glad I took the opportunity to talk to you. And the camp setting was a little smaller, and I think that, you know, provided us that opportunity, but I was like, wow. You know, it offended me a little bit, like, you're intimidated by me, but it's not the first time I've heard that. And I shared that with my mom, and she's like, you intimidated? Are you kidding me?
I thought that the first year I came.
See?
I told you that, like, because it took me until the second, third year to really open up.
Okay, I want to hit on that. Okay, we're gonna.
Still intimidated by Penny.
Who's been intimidated by Penny Davis? Okay, and now I want to, wow, I want to go around the room.
Not maybe so much Penny as a person, but maybe I feel like what I know you've done is so successful makes that a little intimidating. It's be just like, oh, let's talk basketball.
You have to embrace that. Embrace what she's done. Embrace what we have. Don't turn it into a. So I just want to go around the room and you answer the question. What is it about Penny that intimidated you? And I'm going to tell you. Well, I'll let you tell me first. And then I'll. You raise your hand, right?
Yeah.
I think they don't want to tell me.
You don't want to tell me. You notice we're working on Penny. We're not even going to go to bed.
They said yesterday that you're nicer now than you used to be.
We had training.
Yeah. She must have been really mean.
I suppose. I'm going to tell you a quick story, okay, because we like stories. Penny had been given some direction that she had to get tougher, you know? And I've been given some direction that I needed to get nicer. So we kind of made this pact, and we decided to help one another with that. And you know what? She's such a bitch now. But tougher.
I've had a good teacher.
And you know, me lightening up, and I think I'm nicer is because, you know what? I'm not that big of a deal. It's a game, and it's, you know, and we're people. You know, I got caught up. You know, throughout my career, I got caught up in basketball. Because I want to, I got to do it. I got to tournament. And I'm not in that place. I'm not in that place now. You know, I'm in a place of I get to do something that I love and be around really good people. And I kind of wish I had a little more of that earlier in my career. I think I would have. I enjoy my career, but I think I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. Rather than being worried. Yeah, I can do this, I can get that. I actually did it. You know, I did all that. So I just, you know, I've gotten a little older. But anyway, why the intimidation? Or why were you intimidated?
Well, I think that there's kind of two reasons. One, I think that Penny, she's super smart and has an understanding of things way beyond what we do, not just on the court, but kind of the picture of what's going on with referees. And I think that, and sometimes we want to know all the answers right now. At least that's how I am. And sometimes she kind of plays things close to the vest a little bit and trying to work through that. And I try to get into her head, but I can't at all. Not get into her head, try to understand. And so that's challenging for me. And then,
She don't give me the answers either.
and then the other thing I think
Fine.
is that she has the ability to expose weaknesses in me that I think a lot of people can't see. So it's how much do I want to know, and how much, so working through that, and it can be intimidating.
The earlier you can get exposed in your career, the better off you are, because you can fix things. Anyone else want to share about why you're intimidated by it? It's really hard.
It's Penny and it's
First name
also
again?
Stephanie.
Stephanie Bowen. I need to see your work.
I have heard a lot about Penny, but it's also a lot about other people. Mentors, being in that leadership role, it's really hard for me to reach out and go out of my comfort zone because I feel like they're gonna magnify my weaknesses, like you said. It's also kind of goes back to how I grew up, all that. You kind of have to rewire your brain, get out of your comfort zone, and grow that way. And so, I mean, that's a weakness of mine that I've been working on because we have a great community here and everybody's wanting to help each other be successful. And so for me, I just know, like, talking to Penny over the last year, I guess, I've grown and reached out and talked to her a little bit and trying to get better, but even with my mentors, it's just something I've been working on. So.
Great, thanks for sharing.
Toby, for me, it was just that starstruck feeling because I was that nerd watching the referees on TV, not the actual, always the game. And so actually seeing these officials in real life and just as humans, I still was that starstruck watching, Melissa with that Pat Summit. I remember seeing that picture and going, wow, what if that was me? And then now seeing them in person as humans, it's still just a little intimidating because this is my passion. If Brad Pitt walked in, and we're like, okay, Brad Pitt, but this is Penny Davis. This is where the
Thank you.
I think, well, for me personally, a lot of my difficulties with networking come from I'm super concerned with being considered as an ass kisser because I don't want to be perceived as that. And so then I go to the opposite. But with intimidation with Penny, it has a lot to do with her high level of expectations and our performance, our efforts. And I don't feel like I'm meeting those. So it's a little bit of, I don't know. I don't want to disappoint.
Yeah, no, this is great. I would flip it. So, I'll use my personal, my partner. I wake up every morning going, how lucky I am to be waking up to this person. Rather than looking at anything, because that's how I would feel. Flip it, how lucky you are to have this resource. End of story. End of story.
This avocation is about the people, and I've said that several times. And as you're trying to make your way to that next thing, to walk through that next door, there's a lot of people near that door too, and this little piece of interaction can help you walk through it. We were at Basics Camp, that's Violet Benny's camp that folks go to get noticed, and there are referees that got the mechanics down, good signals, know the rules, all those things, they can check all those boxes. So now it's that little tiny differentiator. And a lot of it is, hey Wanda, I'm Penny Davis. Mind if I sit down and have breakfast with you? Absolutely. That is gonna make an impression with her beyond the next person, and the next person, and the next person. And I will tell you, it is that little thing that makes that change. And so the inspiration for this was to get you guys to take that first step into networking. I want to know how many people talk to someone that they wouldn't have probably spoken to here at camp because of this. How many of you
Because of the assignment.
How many of you spoke with one of my staff over this assignment? Interesting, huh? That you wouldn't have. And did any other conversations come about over these things? Yeah?
You have to know the other person as you get the conversation on.
Humanized.
Yeah. Very good.
And it's also fun to have these great statistics and all these wonderful people in the room, but wow, that person did this, and that person did that. Just the real fun, positive stuff. Because I'll tell you, if someone came up to me and said, listen, Annie gave us this assignment, and I'm wondering if you could help me. Did you blah, 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 blah. That speaks volumes. You're reaching out, you're making an effort, oh yeah. Then you ask me 3 questions. No, I mean, I'm not gonna do your assignment, but.
Do you want to know the answer now?
Yeah.
Should I just add something, as kind of a new kid on the block from a basketball standpoint, an old man, so to speak. There's some things I've observed here that they're good for me. Tyler in the class, first class, was talking about the myths and so on. He asked, how did you get those myths all right? And I said, a lot of it has to do with introspection over the last several years. And right now, where I am in life, Wanda kind of said, her perspective has changed. She's older, she's experienced, she has some things that have changed that perspective. I'm kind of the same way. I don't want to be the ass kisser, but I do have goals, and I want to get someplace. I contacted Penny when the place was full, sent an email and said, this is who I am, I'd love to be there, I know it's full, can you get me in? I'll sit in class, you don't have to put me on the court, I just want to learn. I wouldn't have done that 10 years ago. And part of it for me is changing that attitude, kind of the dichotomy of I want to be successful, so I'm willing to put myself out there. But if I put myself out there, all of the shortcomings I have are going to be exposed as well. Can I do that? That's hard. That is hard.
And you made a great impression at the Edge camp, because when I got that email, I'm like, oh, this is cool. On the phone, hey Bart, I need some intel. This guy's at your camp, what's the scoop? He's somebody that, I think I used the word worthwhile, but, we want to have like candidates, good people, if I'm going to allow somebody into camp at the last minute, there's got to be some circumstances to make that happen. And so I vetted you, and I'll get back to you later tonight. So I get the call later tonight, give me the rundown, and said, that's all I need to know. And I emailed him back and sent him the homework assignment. That night, it was done by, I think, 8 o'clock in the morning the next day.
Is that who you were talking about the other day? I just talked to him yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I didn't even realize that was you. She was talking about you the other day about you doing your homework assignment, just like that.
Tremendous first impression. You only get that shot one time, but that tells me a lot about that guy. Okay, so, fun stuff.
Can we?
Oh, okay, sorry, Jim.
One thing that I've been learning over the last couple of years, but even just this year, an added piece to it is that the last couple of camps is, for me, there's a balance between wanting too much, and it gets into the ability to talk to somebody, or if I talk to you, it's not that I'm intimidated by you, it's the comment that something I might screw up. I might say something that will not listen to. So you have that fear, and so I found there's a balance between wanting something too much and caring too little. And in the middle of that balance is